Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Okay, I am here with something that I made quite some time ago. I made this about a year or two ago. I have a video on it, well, a partial video on it. I'll put a link to that in the description box. Now, I saw somebody else do these just recently, or something very similar to this, and it made me think, oh my goodness, I've not made those forever. That's the last one I have, so I thought I'm going to make some. So I'll put a link to her video. Her name's Crafty Cat, and she made just lovely sort of dangly cardy things. I don't know what she called them, I forget, but I'll put a link to her video in the description box as well, because hers were just beautiful. Mine are a bit sort of plainer and simpler. Yeah, I just don't embellish things that much, so but yeah, go and check her video out. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I have so many of these pictures and I don't use them as often as I should, so this is a great project to use them up. I'm going to do 3 of these. Yeah, I'll use 6 photos. I'll make 3, but I think I'll only make a couple on camera, and I will speed through some of the bits because, yeah, watching me hands sew hook and eyes on is painful and distressing for everybody involved. I really hate these things. They're so small and they're very hard to hang on to, and I really struggle with them, but I have so many. You will see later on in the video. I'll go and get my button box and you will see the collection of hook and eyes that I have. I've been lucky enough to pick them up at thrift stores over the years, and yeah, again, another thing I should use more of. Right at the end of the video, I'll leave you with some photographs of these ones, but I'll also leave a photograph of the way I have used this sort of system to embellish the front of a book as well. I did this sort of late last year, and yeah, I still have the journal, so I took a photo and I will pop it at the end so you can see that you can use this sort of thing to do all sorts of interesting stuff. So anyway guys, yeah, I'm just gonna sort of fiddle around here, follow my nose, use whatever I can find, and have a good time. I hope you do too. These fabric pieces, which are just exactly the right size, who knew that was going to happen? It's crazy. They are the hem off of a bed sheet. I have used the rest of the sheeting and I just had this hem laying around. It has been coffee dyed. It was torn into strips and they were coffee dyed, and yeah, I've just been cutting bits of hem off as I've been using the strips, and I had a bunch of these little hems in my drawer. So yeah, that was incredibly lucky that they were just such a great size for it. So we'll be using those. You see those 3 odd pieces of paper or thick stuff, that's actually handmade paper. Yeah, one side of it turned out quite brown. Don't know why, but yeah, it's very, very thick, this stuff. It's stuff that I made when I first started making paper. I still have some laying around, and I'll be using that as a base for a couple of these as well. I decided I wanted to distress the edges of these photos quite a bit. I'm going to attack them with this thing. I don't know what it's called, a distresser probably. I don't even know if this is what it's for. I guess so. But yeah, I got it in a packet of tools from somewhere. I'm just going to use ground espresso to dirty up the edges once I've scratched them up, and maybe put a few folds in. These pictures distress quite nicely. They're done on recycled card, and they're also printed with a laser printer. So if I sort of manipulate them a bit and crease them and rub my thumbs over them and stuff, a lot of the ink starts to sort of wear off, flake out a bit. So I can get them quite distressed, not doing very much to them. So I quite enjoy that. But yeah, I don't suppose that would work with bubble jet printing. I'm just particularly lucky that this card and this ink react in that way. But and I have so many of these pictures, so they're really good for this kind of thing. They're really good to distress. So anyway, I'm going to take these two off and sew around them very messily, and I'll bring them back and we'll fight with the hooks and eyes. As you can see here, I have this little bag and it is full of hooks and eyes and press studs, or snap fasteners, however you like to call them. A lot of them are still on their cards, which is kind of cool. I like to pop those into sewing journals when I make one. But yeah, there's quite a few loose ones down the bottom, and that's what I'm going for today. Just dug out a handful of loose ones. I don't know if they're supposed to go together, these ones. Some of them are different sizes, but you know, really, this is a mess, so it doesn't matter one way or another. So I am going to sew the hooks onto the top card and the eyes onto the bottom card, so that I can just hook the eyes over the hooks on the top card. If you're concerned that these are going to come off, unhook themselves in your journal, you can always get a pair of pliers and just crush your little hooks closed a bit to prevent the eyes from slipping off. After you've hooked them together, obviously. So yeah, that's the easiest way to stop that happening. The only thing you've got to really concern yourself with here is that you kind of line up your hooks and eyes. Try and make everything level and try and line it up. I do that simply by just putting my hooks on, and then I line up the card that I'm going to put the eyes on underneath it, and just put a little dot in lead pencil, and that's where I sew my eyes on. So yeah, simple. And honestly, if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You either pick it off or you just live with it, because, well, it's a junk journal. Okay, I believe that's probably enough of watching me hand sew hooks and eyes on. It's quite a painful process. Yeah. I will kind of zip through the next bit and come back and hook them together and show you how they look. Okay, and there it is. That's as simple as that. That's what I'm going to pop in a journal. I would probably stick the top one into the journal and let the bottom one dangle as it is. You could put a bit of blank paper on the back of the one that's dangling. That's what I did with my previous ones. So you could do a little bit of journaling back there if you'd like. So anyway, I'll make one more on camera and then I will make the other one off camera and just leave you with some photographs. Don't forget to stick around right to the end to see that journal where I've used one on the front of a journal as a sort of a book plate, but it's removable. In case it isn't immediately obvious, it's the fabric I'm actually sewing my hook and eyes to. When I first made these, I made them just backed with paper and started to sew on the hook and eyes and then realised that you can't really sew things securely to paper, not such small things so close together. So yes, I'm overlapping the fabric on the bottom of the top picture so that it sort of hangs off the bottom a little, and I'm doing the same thing with the bottom picture, but I'm just pulling it off the edge at the top a little, and that's what I'm securing my hook and eyes to, not the paper itself. Okay, that's that one sewn with all its hook and eyes as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I think these are super cute, something a bit different, a way to use those hooks and eyes that you've got lying around, because I know a lot of us have them. They come in those grab bags all the time from the thrift stores. So anyway, I will finish the last one off camera and just leave you with some photos at the end. Thanks for spending your time with me today, guys. I appreciate your company as always, and I will see you again next time. Bye.